Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Nifty 50, Bank Nifty and a few select stocks which must be on your watch list for tomorrow's trading session. Right before we start, on Friday, US President Joe Biden said that he was confident that CPI data will be in good shape this week. And guess what? It's CPI day today, which simply tracks the rate of change in US inflation over time. So let's see if the mood of the market gets any better once the CPI comes in. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. First of all, if you've seen the last video where I outlined the possibilities for Nifty, I mentioned that in case we see an extension of the decline, we'll be taking the level of 17,035 and 16,989 as the support levels. So as you can see here on the daily time frame of Nifty 50, it has done just that and tested the downside harmonic level of 16,989, and towards the end of the day, we saw a slight recovery in the index. Now you can see that it has entered into a wide potential reversal zone, and we can see some possible shift in the trend, or we can see a scope for pullback in the index as well. And to get some clues for the same, let's move to the hourly chart. Here you can see that the index opened within the range of yesterday's low, and the first trigger to initiate shorts would have been the breakdown of the previous day low. Now with that being said, once again the bearish momentum continued, and not to forget, with a lot of volatile moves which sometimes even get a little tricky to manage, and then the index did what it had to do and fell towards the marked levels of 16,989. So let's outline the possibilities. Now Nifty 50 is at a very interesting point where it is above the harmonic potential reversal zone and has also tested the lower end of the channel. So it looks like a pullback might be on the cards, and the levels to watch out for on upside would be 17,225 and 17,348. Along with this, if we take a look on the 15-minute chart, you can see a clear downtrend with lower highs and lower lows, and an additional confirmation for a pullback can also be considered as a breakout of this previous high, which is placed at the levels of 17,185. This simply means that the ongoing structure may come to an end and we may see a positive shift in the trend. Now let's move to Bank Nifty, where on the daily chart you can see that the level of 39,400 was taken out, but somehow Bank Nifty managed to close above the same, and the downside level hit today was 39,132, which is just a few points above the harmonic level of 39,089. Also, if we take a look at the 200 DEMA, which has a flat curvature as of now, but if this starts to shift on the downside, then in the worst case, as we've been discussing for the last 2 days, we'll keep the reference level of 39,089 and 38,107 on our watch list. Now on the 15-minute chart, you can see that Bank Nifty was sustaining above this potential reversal zone, and in a matter of 15 minutes, we saw an upside spike. And have a look at this candle, which has a long upper wick. Now such a candle, if placed at a resistance level, depicts that the bears have the upper hand and price tried to move on the upside, but it could not hold, and that's the reason for seeing such a long wick on the upside. Not once but twice here as well, when Bank Nifty made another attempt on the upside, but it was followed by selling, and the lower high and lower low structure remained intact. Now towards the end of the day, Bank Nifty protected the day low and is now trading within the range of this particular candlestick. Now for a pullback or a positive shift in the trend, Bank Nifty needs to break above the high of 39,662 and 39,768, which are the previous highs on the chart, and this would be a confirmation for the positive shift in the trend. So that's for the indices. Now the first stock on my watch list has to be United Spirits, in which we are seeing a positive momentum for the last 2-3 days, and today it has broken above the pivot of 762.70 and has been sustaining above the same. I'm expecting this to test the levels of about 787 on the upside, as I mentioned a few seconds ago that we have seen a continued momentum, so a pullback towards the averages cannot be ruled out, somewhat like this. And even in such a case, some low risk entries can be looked at if it tests the averages, and then a final move on the upside towards 787 can be anticipated. Now for this view, we'll be keeping an invalidation level of 734. The second one on my watch list is Tata Motors, where you can see that it's standing right at the pivot at 413.05, and only if it gives a breakdown below this pivot, we'll look for a probable trajectory towards point D, which is pegged at 385 levels. But do keep in mind that it's a conditional setup and would only activate below pivot B. In this setup, one can consider an invalidation level of about 442. The last one would be Sun Pharma, which we also discussed in the weekly session, that after having reversed from this potential reversal zone at 1076 levels, it was trading at the pivot at 951.95, and we were expecting it to start a move on the upside at least towards the levels of 980 to 1000. So keeping that target open with an invalidation level of 935, Sun Pharma also looks good to have on the watch list for higher targets. So on that note, it's Gurleen signing off. Do let me know what's your take on the markets, and until we meet again, have a great time.